So, hello, ladies. I am live. This is Carla Metzdorf. I'm from Overcoming Anxiety for Stressed Out Moms who've had enough. I am admin to the group, and I'm also an anxiety coach. So, hi, everybody. As you come on, I see you. Hi, Carol, Elizabeth, Leah, Angie, Emily. Thank you for coming on. Hi, Missy. I'm sorry for the mix-ups. Let me go back to YouTube for a second. Yeah, this technology. One of these days I'm gonna get it right. Hi Dee Dee, hi Rita, hi Amanda. Hi, as you all come on. I'm really sorry. I had issues, so I'm a little bit late, but this is gonna work too. So better something and late than nothing and never. So let's talk about this. What I came on to talk about today are the most important steps to overcome anxiety. I want to talk about, hi Kim, I want to talk about what are these steps that you absolutely need to take to get rid of this anxiety. So with further ado, I want to start with the definition, because the first thing we need to do to overcome anxiety, really, first of all, you need to have the right mindset. All right. Mindset is very important. What is mindset? I've done lives on it. I've given definitions before, but for those who have not seen those lives, who have never heard me say it, mindset is basically the thoughts, the beliefs, the assumptions and expectations you make in life that give you an experience. You get the experience because of all these things, because of what you're believing and how you're thinking, all those assumptions and expectations that you have. This is what gives you the experience. It's your mindset. Now, you have a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. A growth mindset just basically means that you have a mindset that is willing to change. You have a mindset that's willing to learn and take correction and make those changes to overcome anxiety. A fixed mindset is just the opposite. You're not willing. You are set in your ways. It is what it is, and you're not open to new possibilities. You don't want to hear it that you have to make a change. So those who have a growth mindset are going to see results. Those who have a growth mindset, they're going to be successful in overcoming anxiety. So number one step is to ensure that you have a growth mindset. All right. Now, my first step in everything, of course, is awareness. If you have watched a lot of my lives, some of you have not, you'd know that my first step to almost everything is to have awareness, because awareness is basically growing in knowledge. It's understanding, having a lot of information about something, because you can't overcome what you don't know. So how are you going to overcome anxiety if you don't know what anxiety is? If you don't understand it, how are you going to overcome it? Right? So you have to have awareness. I mean, they have breast cancer awareness, right? They have awareness for just about everything out there. Mental health awareness, autism awareness. And the reason for that is so that you can learn as much about it as you can, so that you can overcome it, so that you can take the steps and do something about it. So that is one of the reasons why I formed this group, because I want to help you to grow in awareness. I want you to understand what anxiety is, why you have anxiety, why are you struggling with it, and how to rise above that so that you can overcome and get your power back and start living the life that you want to live. Without that awareness, you're not going to be very successful in doing so. I hope that makes sense to everybody. As you come on, say hi. And if you have any comments, you need any clarity, be sure to write it. If you have any questions, put them down. After, I will go back and I will look for the questions and answer the questions at the end. So first step is, having the right mindset, having the mindset that's going to overcome anxiety. Hi, Rhonda. Second step is to grow in awareness. Familiarize yourself with anxiety. What is anxiety? What's it about? Third step is to have acceptance. Now, this is one of the hardest steps to understand, because a lot of times I'm told, oh, I have acceptance. I know what that is, and I have acceptance. I accept anxiety for what it is. And then when I talk to you about it, you don't really seem to even understand what anxiety is. So how can you have acceptance of it? And acceptance is not pushing it away or ignoring it or fighting it. Anxiety is being okay with it. And I know that is extremely hard for so many of you. Nobody wants to be okay with anxiety. You're afraid to be okay with anxiety. I know I was. The first time I heard this, I was like, you mean I have to like anxiety? You mean I have to be okay with it there? I can't stand it. I want to be rid of these feelings, these thoughts, these feelings. I want it all to go away. And you're telling me I have to like them? Well, no, you don't have to like them. Definitely acknowledge the fact that you don't like it. But the thing is, the more you tell yourself, this sucks, I don't want it here, and you ignore it and push it away and distract yourself and become frustrated and overwhelmed, more it's going to stay. The opposite is true. Part of having acceptance is, it's like I always get the analogy of an annoying dog or an annoying friend. Somebody you don't really want around. You're annoying. You keep bothering me. You're annoying me, but they keep coming back. And you just like, yeah. You dismiss them. You push them away. You try to get them out of your lives. Go lay down. Go. Don't call me anymore. You do whatever to get them out, but they keep coming back. The way through anxiety, okay, to rise above anxiety is with acceptance, okay? Acceptance of anxiety is feeling those feelings, sitting with those thoughts, knowing they're just feelings, they're just thoughts, they're not going to hurt you. That's acceptance. Basically, it's you trusting in the process. If you want to understand more about what that is, I had just done a live on trusting in the process maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you can find it in the guide section. The more you trust in the process, okay, and the more awareness you have, the more you trust in the process and you give yourself grace. What do I mean by that? I have another live on that. You can find that in the guide section. But grace is basically giving yourself permission to be human. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop trying to do everything perfectly. You can't do that. The more hard you are on yourself, the more you berate yourself, and not allow yourself to be who you're going to be, the more you're going to kind of sabotage any efforts that you make. So under acceptance, okay, so we have awareness, we have acceptance. Acceptance is absolutely key. But to have good acceptance, all right, again, trust in the process, definitely give yourself a lot of grace, okay, because that's what's going to move you forward, okay? Going back to awareness for a second, okay? Part of having awareness is getting really clear, like I said, on what anxiety is. Carol, yes, you're saying all the facts. Before you said that when I was talking about awareness, you need to be clear on what anxiety is, why you are struggling with it, okay? In order to get into acceptance, because it's easier to accept what you know than it is what you don't know. Okay. I just wanted to make that clear. The next thing we need to do, okay, after getting into the right mindset, having awareness, acceptance, is taking action. Taking action. Now, what do I mean by that? Because action could mean anything. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Joy. Taking action. So, in order to take action, there are certain things that a certain way of being, okay? So in other words, you have to want to take action, all right? If you don't want to overcome anxiety, now stay with me because some of you are like, who doesn't want to overcome anxiety, all right? I know you want to do it, but wanting and doing are not the same thing, okay? It is not the same thing. You can't just want to do it, but just lay in bed and do nothing, or sit on the couch and do nothing and wait for something to happen. Okay? The success in overcoming anxiety comes all in the doing. So you have to have this desire within you. I want to overcome anxiety. And to know that laying in bed, sitting on the couch doing nothing, not the thing that's going to get you success. So, and also, if you are still blaming everything outside of you for having anxiety, you're not understanding why you have anxiety. You need more awareness. Anxiety is not an outside job, it's an inside job. Okay. It's how you're responding to the stress, to the circumstances of your life. And the thing is, if you have a fixed mindset, if you don't have the awareness, you're going to have this misunderstanding that you're anxious because of your husband or your children or your boss, your job, your whatever that circumstance is. You're going to blame that for how you're being right now, for who you're being. And the thing is, you're not going to make the choice to make a change because you're not going to understand that you have that choice. Because you're telling yourself, I will overcome this anxiety. I will be better when my husband's not so much of a jerk anymore. When my kids finally listen to me. Yeah, good luck with that one. When my boss is not on top of me all the time. I wish he would give me space when he would start showing me some praise from my work, or I will be better when no, the more you do that, the more you're going to feel stuck. It's how you are responding. If you wait for them to change, for you to change, you're doing yourself an injustice. You actually have a choice. And that is the next step. When it comes to like mindset, is to make that decision. Understand you have the choice, and then to actually make the decision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to overcome anxiety. Like, I'm deciding I'm going to do it. You have to make the decision, because if not, you're going to stay in that bed and go on that couch and not do a thing, no matter how much you desire. You have to make the decision. And what are you going to do about it? You have to be determined. Are you determined? Determination is like, I don't care how uncomfortable this gets. I am digging my heels in. I'm not going to give up. I am committed to doing this. I'm already uncomfortable. How much more uncomfortable can I get? And if I do, so what? If it's going to get me over anxiety, why wouldn't I do it? Determination. Because what happens is, if you don't dig your heels in, you don't commit yourself, what's going to happen is you start making up excuses. Excuses for everything. Oh, I can't do this because I'm going on vacation soon, and I have a lot of packing to do. I'm going on vacation, and when I come back from vacation, I should be feeling better. The anxiety will probably be better, and I'll be more equipped to do the work I have to do. Okay? Or my favorite thing in the whole world, I'm too old to overcome anxiety. I just love that excuse. Or it's the holidays. This is a perfect time for me to not overcome anxiety because, I'm hosting 20 people and I have no time to overcome anxiety. That's a choice, ladies. That is a choice. Somebody who's determined, who has made the decision and is determined to overcome anxiety, doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Okay? You're going to take that action because that's how much you want this. So you're going to make up excuses, and anything that you've done or you're trying to do, you're going to sabotage because you're waiting for the perfect time. When is that? When is the perfect time to overcome anxiety? Can anyone tell me? The perfect time to overcome anxiety is always, always, always now. It's now. You have to be disciplined. You need to be disciplined, meaning you have to have, let's go back to mindset. Like you have to have a certain, kind of like when you're in the army, they teach you discipline, right? So you got to keep yourself in line. You got to keep going. No matter how hard this gets, I'm going to keep going. I keep going. I keep doing. Yes, Molly, right now. Keep going. Keep doing. And then you got to be diligent about it. In other words, you give it your all. You don't give up. It doesn't matter how many times whoops, I put my phone down, so it just moved. Oh my God, did I just lose you? No, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, okay? It doesn't matter. You don't believe in I can't. You have that conqueror's mindset. I'm going to do this. I've made the decision, no matter how hard it gets. I'm determined. Whoops, I keep dropping this. No matter how much I am determined, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to be diligent about it because I can't is not part of my vocabulary. I'm going to give it my all. You are 100% committed. And the thing is, sometimes, we don't follow through a lot with the things to overcome anxiety because we don't have the confidence, right? But the confidence comes in the doing. And a lot of you have heard me say that before. And if you never heard me say that before, the doing is basically, what are you doing to overcome anxiety? As you practice things, as you do things, and you see that you're surviving, you see that it's making change, that helps you build confidence. And the more confidence you gain, it gives you what you need to keep pushing forward. You get more determined. Wow, I made a change. You get proud of yourself. This is why it's so important that we focus on what is going well. We keep focusing on what's going wrong. We kind of dismiss any wins that we have. So we need to know what's going well in our lives. What are the wins that we had? And let those wins build the confidence, right? And basically, just stay committed. So, it takes effort, consistent effort to overcome anxiety. This is not something that you're going to hear all this information and, hey, I'll wake up tomorrow. This all sounds good. Yay, and I didn't know this before. So here I am growing in awareness. I'll wake up tomorrow and they'll be gone. No. Listen, this is information. And a lot of you have heard me say this before. Information is just information. Okay. Until you implement it, until you do the doing, until you put it to practice, That is how you're going to get results. Consistent work, consistent practice. This is what's going to help you get to where you want to go. You're going to put this all together. So really quickly, the steps is to ensure that you have a growth mindset, that your beliefs, your thoughts, the assumptions, the expectations that you have are in alignment, that they want to overcome anxiety. You have that desire. That you have this awareness that in order for me to overcome, I have to understand what anxiety is. I have to get to know it. I have to understand what it is that I have to overcome. So you grow in awareness, you get really clear on it, why you have it, why you're struggling with it, and how to rise above. You have acceptance being that you are not pushing it away. You are accepting it for what it is. It is my response. Okay. I'm responsible now. It is my response to the stress. If I started it, I can change it and I can end this. But I can only do it with accepting it for what it is. Anxiety, all it's doing is giving me a warning that I'm overdoing this, that I need to change something. That's acceptance. And you need to trust in your ability, trust in the process, trust in your ability, trust in God. Trust that God is there with you, helping you. You're not alone in the process. And then take action. I mentioned 5 D's, okay? Desire, decision, I'm going to remember them all. Determination, be disciplined, and diligent, okay? Those 5 D's, all right? These are the things that if you practice this, it's going to be easier to take action. This is what you need to take that action. And what do I mean by action? Basically, it's what you're going to do. I hate to use the word cope because, yeah, we're trying to cope with anxiety, but this is not just about coping with anxiety because you can totally overcome it. Okay, when I say overcome, I'm not promising you that you'll never have anxiety again. I just mean you get your power back, because I understand having anxiety took everything away from you. You feel totally helpless and useless and hopeless, and anxiety keeps you from living your life. So when you overcome anxiety, you get your life back. Doesn't mean you'll never have anxiety again, but what it does mean is that if anxiety, like if you understand anxiety, which is the awareness part, what this means is that you're not afraid that if you have stress again in your life, to have these feelings and these thoughts again, because you know what they are now. You know what they are, how they were formed, and how you have total control over whether they stay or not. And you know what to do now. So you change your relationship with anxiety completely and with how you deal with stress. So basically, what we're looking to do is take the actions. What actions do you need to take, okay, so that you understand what anxiety is, you grow in awareness, you understand why you are struggling with anxiety, and how to rise above it, how you're going to react differently to the stress in your life from now on and to that anxiety. How am I going to get my power back? Does anybody have any questions about anything that I said? I'm going to go through all the comments and just make sure that I did not miss anything. Whoops. I don't think anybody asked anything. Wait a minute. Carol just wrote some amazing news, and good for you, Carol. I'm happy for you. But does anybody have any questions? Let me see. Whoops. I wonder when I'm pushing myself too much that I will cause me to regress. There are times I do it right because I get this beautiful energy and confidence. Yeah, Dee, you kind of hit it on the nail. See, when we're hard on ourselves, this is why. I mean, I don't know when you came on, but you may have heard me before talk about giving yourself grace, because sometimes we're very hard on ourselves, and when hey Cindy, we're very hard on ourselves, and when we're hard on ourselves, we're not allowing ourselves to do what needs to be done and to really trust in the process of overcoming anxiety. We're trying too hard to get it right, and we're not allowing ourselves, let's say, to fail, which there's no such thing in my book. There's no such thing as failure. Failure is giving up. Okay. So I won't let anybody in this group just give up. If you feel like giving up, you need to contact me. But failure, when you feel like you're failing, it's basically feedback as to what you need to do different. Okay. So basically, you got to give yourself grace. To be human, you're going to make mistakes. And how can you learn from them? Yeah. And allow yourself to make those mistakes. Anybody else have any? I think I'm starting at the beginning again. It's just recycling. Health anxiety the same. Michelle, I'm not sure what you mean. Health anxiety the same? Anxiety, I mean, there's like an umbrella, okay? Now, there are different levels of anxiety. Health anxiety is a type of anxiety. But yes, health anxiety requires awareness, okay? There's acceptance, and it requires action. And it requires all those things that I talked about. Health anxiety, I mean, I had major health anxiety. I mean, the thought of getting sick, or somebody I love getting sick, just threw me, through a loop. So I understand that health anxiety, it just really, I'm trying to think of like if there's any difference. It just requires a lot of trust. I mean, ladies, anxiety, like, this is what I'm saying. You have to have awareness. If you know what anxiety is, you understand that with anxiety, you're not trusting. So when you have health anxiety, Michelle, what are you not trusting? What is giving you anxiety about your health? What are you not trusting? That's a question to ask yourself. That's perfect to say, I feel like people not going through it doesn't know how to show grace. I guess that's just a statement. Okay, you're not asking a question. Amara, is there a question? Or that's perfect to say, I feel like people not going through it doesn't know. Yeah, okay. You know what? Now that I read it again, I know what you're saying. Yeah, people who don't go through anxiety, who don't know, like everyone, I guess, gets a little anxious in their life, but there's a difference between getting, a little anxious and having issues with anxiety, like anxiety taking over your life. And if that's never happened for certain people, they don't understand. They don't know what to say to you, how to treat you. They tell you to get over it, think of something else. They think we're crazy. And no, they're not giving us any grace by any means. They try, they think they are, but they're really not. Does anybody have any questions about the steps that I said? And if you came on late, you probably, missed what I said. So you just catch the replay, watch the replay, and the replay will explain so much more. But if there are no questions, I think that's it. I mean, just grow an awareness of anxiety. Understand it and accept it for what it is. And just understand that anxiety is is you not really trusting. And also no, I talked about control a little bit. You know, we want to control everything, but you don't have control. There's only so much you are going to control, and we have to relinquish control in every situation. What can you control? What can you control? What you can't control, you need to let go of anything that you can't control. You need to let go. You need to let go. And if you believe there's a God, you need to give it to God. And you need to adapt. And when I say adapt, what I'm saying is, what is the situation you're having anxiety about that you can't change? Because change is going to happen in your life, right? And the more you refuse to change, if you refuse to change, you feel pain. So whenever change comes about and you don't also change and adapt, you're going to feel pain. So you need to adapt. How can I adapt to the situation? I mean, I'm sure you've heard the term finding your new normal. Now, I mean, I'm going to give one example and then I am going to go. So one example is this year I lost my dad. Sorry, I keep talking about this, but this has been quite a year, and it's just been a good example for so many things. So how am I adapting? Because the thing is, when somebody you love dies, it's not like you get over it, right? But life goes on and you have to find your new normal. I'm celebrating the holidays without my dad for the first time. He's been there for 54 years of my life, for 53 Christmases. And now my first Christmas without him, and I'm going to try to continue without crying. So I have to adapt. In other words, find the new normal. How can I change my thinking, the way I'm thinking, the way I'm being in life, so that I could adjust to this, not having my dad around. But this is the same with anxiety as well. Whatever is causing our anxiety, whatever is going on in our life, okay? What can we control? Is it a sickness you're dealing with? Okay. So what do you have control about the sickness? Do you need to change your diet? Do you need to exercise? Do you need to get more sleep? What do you need to do? Do you need to change your mindset? Do it. And the things you can't control, well, that's where I say, okay, you need to accept, I can't change this. This is nothing I can do about it. You give it to God, you let go, you adapt. How does my life have to change so that I can survive with this in my life? I hope that's all making sense. Okay, and this is all under, I would put this under, it's kind of a mixture of having awareness and acceptance. Awareness of that you can change things and that you can't. And the acceptance part, definitely, of what you can't control and what you can't change and what you need to do and where you need to take that action. Okay. So ladies, do you have any questions whatsoever? I mean, a lot of you came on a little bit later, so you didn't hear everything. So please rewatch the replay. There were some really key things said that can really help you. But from what you did hear, does anybody have any questions? Is everybody good? Nobody has any questions regarding steps to overcome anxiety? Like those important steps? Whoa. It doesn't look like anybody has anything new I keep getting the same comments. It's just going over and over again. Because if nobody, oh, there's one. Any techniques, Omara? I feel like I tried everything and I feel so defeated. Oh, I understand that. But when it comes to how and knowing the real specifics of overcoming anxiety, like to get you through the process, I mean, that's what I do as an anxiety coach. I mean, that's what my programs are about. It's to really help you gain that awareness. I mean, you do that by watching the live trainings as well, but I help you get that awareness and really implement it and help you to have that acceptance and the actions. I mean, that's what all my programs about, or what actions you can take, because you're all different. I customize. I mean, the framework I use is the same, but I customize everything I do to match what you specifically need to overcome anxiety. You know, I customize it for you. Because, some of you are not sleeping and some of you can still sleep. So I'm not going to focus on not sleeping well and teach and, go over how to sleep better if that's not an issue you're facing. If that will make sense. So Amara, if you want, we could always have a conversation of how we can work together so that you can, learn the right information. And you say you tried everything. I hear that a lot, but try everything. I would wonder what it is that you tried. There's a reason why some of these things are not working, and I would love to talk to you about that. The things that I can't control always gets me. How do I cope or control the negative thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, and I do have a whole live training on that. So I'm just rereading it for a second. I mean, how I do cope or control the negative thoughts. Yeah. You have negative thoughts for a reason, and that's because of your anxious mind, and your mind and body are always working together to help you to survive. So you will get these thoughts running through your mind. So the way to stop those thoughts really is to take whatever actions to rise above the anxiety. And to first, I have a whole formula that I use. If you watch the live trainings, you will learn a lot of it. But when I work with my programs, I really help you to understand, why specifically you're having the thoughts you're having, and how the thoughts you're having are keeping you from making progress, keeping you stuck, or or how your thoughts, the way you are, you're sabotaging yourself. You're keeping yourself from making any progress because of what's going through your mind. You keep telling yourself, I can't. Look, for instance, oh yes, I would like that. Naturally, I haven't tried meds. A lot of people have, Omara. You haven't gone on meds yet, and you don't have to. I mean, this can definitely. I overcame anxiety. Well, at first, not naturally. I was so bad. I had to be on medication. Medication was the only way for me to function. But once I started thinking with a more rational mind, I started to focus a little better. I was able to really dig in deep of what anxiety was, and why I had it and how to overcome it. And I came off all my medications, and I was doing it naturally. Like, I was feeling everything raw. Like, there was no masking of any symptoms, nothing. And I overcame everything. I gained my confidence, because I failed a couple times, but I got right back up, and I said to myself, you're going to do this, because you're not going to stay where you were. No way, no how. And I was super determined. I really built the mindset of a conqueror, which basically means that I can't was not in my vocabulary. I won't is not in my vocabulary. I will, I am, I'm going to succeed. Like success was always on my mind. Failure was, yeah, there were times I was hard on myself because I didn't understand grace. But failure, like when I failed, I had to understand what a setback was so that I could get up and keep going and keep doing. And that's like being disciplined in what I was doing. How long did it take you to overcome? Oh, I hate that question, Molly. I really do, because I don't want any of you comparing yourself to anybody. You have to understand, I did a lot of this on my own. Okay. I was getting tired of professionals just telling me, here, take medication, and having questions about anxiety and not getting them answered. So I had to be, I was the teacher, the student, the doctor. Like I literally went to the library. I went to the bookstore. I got all these books out and I studied anxiety. And it took me a while because it was all trial and error. I had to take all this information and I had to implement it. And, my husband was supportive, but he had no idea what I was going through. He was just like, what do you mean? Like your thoughts. And what do you mean you feel this way? Carla, you can sleep. I don't understand why you think you can't sleep. And, like he was just dumbfounded by the whole thing. But he was just like, okay, well, whatever you got to do. He tried to support me in any way. But it took me a lot longer than, let's say, I had somebody who can give me all the answers and, give me all the information, help me implement it and support me and give me all that accountability. I didn't have that. So, this is the reason why I do what I do, because, I know what anxiety does to you, and I know how it makes you feel that you'll have this forever, but that is not the truth. There is light at the end of the tunnel. This is not a life sentence. I know some of you have had this anxiety for 20, 30, 40 years. I know you tried everything. You keep saying that, but if you did, if you understood anxiety, you tried everything, you wouldn't be where you still are. And I'm sorry, that might be very hard to hear, okay? And some of you have anxiety because of hormones, because of you have, let's say, an illness, a sickness, a disease, and, like a thyroid problem that maybe is not regulated. There could be other reasons why you have anxiety, for sure. But once you see a doctor, once you take steps to get hormone levels adjusted or whatever it is you need to do, okay? If you're still feeling anxiety, because, anxiety is multifaceted. There's usually not one reason why you feel anxiety. And a lot of people want to say, well, my mom, my grandmother, my sister, my aunts, my uncles, like everybody I know has anxiety. All my friends. We try to normalize. We try to say it's hereditary. Hereditary, yeah. There is truth behind that. You can, but it's a learned behavior. I come from a long line of anxious people. But you know what? I'm the only one who's overcome anxiety. Everybody's still anxious. And even though they know I'm an anxiety coach, they want nothing to do with me. It's too close. Nobody wants to work with me. That's family. So anyway, but I do have a couple family members in the group that you don't know about, but they're not that close, but they don't contact me. I just let them be there so that they get the information. So anyway, but yeah, so that is anxiety. And that was the most important steps to overcome anxiety. get the right mindset, learn everything you can about anxiety, grow in that awareness, have acceptance, and take the right actions following the 5 Ds. And if you want to know what those 5 Ds are, make sure you watch the replay. Ladies, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me. I don't think there were any more questions. Oh, you know what, but Molly, I don't know if you're still on. I know I was being vague. It took me a long time, Molly, to overcome anxiety. I want to say 17, 18 years, but I had to do all the footwork. I mean, around that time, I had to do all the footwork. I didn't have the guidance, okay, the awareness and all that. I had to do a lot of it on my own. So, but when you have somebody feeding you all the information, I mean, you could overcome this so much quicker and easier. I hate to use the word easy, but you'll overcome this quicker and easier than what I did if you just listen, take the information, implement it. And ladies, if you're having a hard time doing that, seek me out. Let's work together and let's get you through this. This is not a life sentence. And Merry Christmas to everybody in this group. A couple of you are not Christians, so I'm going to say happy holidays, happy new year. Love to all of you. I wish you all the many blessings for the holiday season, for the new year. I pray for every single one of you every single day. No, I don't call you all by name because there's close to 3,000 of you. I don't do that, but I do pray for the group in general. God knows who you are. I don't have to say your name. He knows who you are. But some of you, yes, I do use, especially my clients, and some of you who especially say to me, please pray for me, I will say your name. But blessings to you all. Keep going, keep doing. Don't use the holidays as an excuse to not work on yourself. And I'm going to see you in the new year. I'm going to be in the group. I will be somewhat active, but I am not having services. In other words, I'm not going to be talking to many people over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be spending a lot of needed time with family. And but I will see you in the new year. Love to you. Enjoy your family and be well. But you can send me messages. I will eventually get to them, okay? It's just that I'm not going to do much coaching. Okay, be well, take care, and if you're just coming on, watch the replay. Be well. Bye.